Hello, this is Sarah Brush. Welcome back to my channel. So I want to do a response video to Contrapoints to her justice video. So I think have I done one or two? I definitely did one. I definitely did at least one response video to one of Contrapoints videos, and that is actually one of my more popular videos. And I definitely did one that was a response to her shame video, and that's the one I think that was very popular. I think I might have done one more, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm forgetting. But anyway, so this one is a response to her justice video, and I have a lot to say about it. But I'm gonna try. I might do two. I might do a couple of videos about this because I don't want this video to be too long. So I might do more than one video about this because I have a lot to say about it. So first of all, I think that mostly Contrapoints was talking about punishment, what punishment is, not what justice is. And you'll notice at the end of her video, she actually laughs about this and she says, "Oh, I told you I was going to tell you what justice is, but I never really did." And I think that's true. I don't think she ever really did because, I mean, I guess you could construe punishment as justice or an aspect of justice or a possible aspect of justice, but I don't think that's what justice is. Like, justice and punishment are not synonymous terms. So anyway, that's what I have to say about that, but that's okay. I mean, she said a lot of really interesting things in the video, which is obviously why I want to respond to it. So, but I don't think she really ever told us what justice is, but that's okay. That was her part one too. She's gonna make more videos, and I'm probably gonna make more than one video in response to her multiple videos, so it's all good. So she mostly was talking about punishment. She actually started out by talking about what we usually call like old Wild West vigilante mob justice, but for a new era where we live our lives online and on social media. So she started talking about, websites and YouTube channels that are all about, gotcha videos of people behaving badly, people caught in the act, Karen Gone Wild videos, and basically she's talking about what I have been railing against, which I refer to as trial by Twitter. So basically, I think that these are almost interchangeable terms: cancel culture, trial by Twitter, social media moral outrage mobs, social media mobbings, cancellations, all of this extrajudicial vigilante mob justice via social media, via viral video, Karen's Gone Wild videos, this moral outrage industry. These are all terms for basically the same thing in my mind, which is, and Contrapoints showed a lot of examples of this, of these viral videos that are part of this online social media moral outrage industry. You usually capture the video of a private nobody, a private citizen, a private nobody, and you catch them in the act, and then they get their comeuppance. They're subjected to trial by Twitter, without due process. You could be completely wrong. You could be completely what they've been accused of. It could be an entirely false accusation. The video could be completely out of context. It could be manipulated, and then they're subjected to trial by Twitter. People call for them to dox them, post their address online, call for them to be fired, disbarred, if they're an attorney, expelled if they're a student, prosecuted, call for their reputations and livelihoods to be decimated, to be completely destroyed, call for their careers to be destroyed. So basically, it's like a social death. It's an extrajudicial sentencing of social death without due process. And I call this trial by Twitter, and it's also referred to as vigilante mob justice. And so basically, I think that Contrapoints was most interested in the psychology behind it, and the way that this seems to sate just I don't want to say like, well, maybe I do want to say just a retributive, like we want retribution, right? Like it almost seems to be part of human nature that we are retributive creatures. Like we want revenge. We want revenge. We want revenge. So we do feel, we think of this as justice, right? Like you get your just desserts if you've harmed someone, if you've wronged someone, and then that person wreaks their vengeance upon you and exacts vengeance upon you, then you get your just desserts, right? And so it was interesting to me because Contrapoints used some examples of Karen Gone Wild's videos. Of course, hello, I'm Sarah Brash. I'm the purported villain of the Living or Napping While Black incident at Yale, but in fact, I'm the entirely innocent victim of the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale. And it was interesting to me because Contrapoints used some of the more famous viral videos, Karen's Gone Wild videos, but she didn't use mine. And I don't know if she's actually aware that I've made response videos to her, or if she's just not aware of what happened to me. But she used quite a few of the Karen's Gone Wild videos, so, but thank you for not using mine. So I hope it's because you realize that I'm actually the entirely innocent victim of the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale. Hi, Contrapoints. You probably never see this and have no idea who I am. But anyway, so, but Contrapoints did seem to be saying that vigilante mob justice is never justice, is no justice at all. Even if you accidentally get it right, and you actually see someone who's truly done something bad and wrong get their comeuppance, it still is injustice. It still is injustice. It's punishment, even if you accidentally have a target that deserves to be punished and they get their punishment. Vigilante mob justice, in my book anyway, is never, ever justice. That's not justice. So that's definitely a case where punishment and justice are not one and the same, because it's not justice. It's vigilante mob justice is never justice in my book. And this is why I've been decrying trial by Twitter and railing against it in the way that I have been, because it's destroying us. It's in my case, you know what, mobs often are wrong. In my case, they were 100% wrong. They had it completely backwards. I was the innocent victim, and Lolata Siambola was the perpetrator of a hate crime hoax against me. And the Yale administration and police, of course, were complicit and then led the defamation campaign against me. So mobs are often wrong, but also just there's a reason why we think we're civilized. We think we're civilized because we abide by rule of law, not rule of men. We think we're civilized because we have due process, substantive and procedural due process. And what this means is that, when you have the moral majoritarian mob ruling tyrannically by mob rule, it's tyranny. That is tyranny. That is tyranny. It's tyranny. It's tyrannical. And that's why we have the constitutional doctrine of substantive due process. And what that means is that the state, in this case the state, but we have public referenda. Think about in California, the public referenda that gave us Proposition 8, which, outlawed gay marriage in California, and then there was the subsequent Supreme Court case. I think it's like Hodges v. Oberfeld or something like that. Anyway, so then we had gay marriage as the law of the land now. But anyway, so my point is that substantive due process means that the state cannot just do whatever it wants to. You cannot tell you just to do whatever it wants because it feels like it. And this is my favorite Supreme Court ruling, Lawrence v. Texas of 2004. That's the ruling, which is that any law that is merely for the sake of expressing the moral approbation or disapprobation of the majority of the citizenry, that is not only is it not a compelling reason for the state to legislate and tell you what to do, it's not even rational. It's not even a legitimate reason for the state to tell you what to do. Morality alone is never a legitimate reason for the state to exercise its legislative power, not even in the form of public referenda. The expression of the moral outrage of the majority of the citizenry is not a legitimate reason for the state to exercise its legislative power, its coercive power to tell you what to do. And so that's why vigilante mob justice is never justice. It's never justice. So, and then of course we also have procedural due process, which is we're ruled by law, not by men. And so I think that trial by Twitter is destroying us. It's undermining due process, it's undermining our legal system, and also it's undermining our egalitarian public space. Because the reason why people feel comfortable going out into the public space, even online, because the social media online is the new public square. It really is. And the reason why people feel comfortable in going into the public space and engaging with others in professional relationships, business relationships, social relationships, all kinds of different relationships, is because they know they can have recourse to the courts to be made whole if they're harmed in any way. So now, with trial by Twitter supplanting our American legal system, and this is something that's being advocated for, and people are saying, well, this is a way for people to get justice outside of the justice system, but it is no justice. It isn't justice. It's destroying everything. It's destroying our society, our legal system. It's destroying our egalitarian public space. Now, people are going to be terrified to enter the public space and engage in relationships with others because they know that at the drop of a hat, their life, their livelihood, their reputation could be destroyed and they have no recourse. It's very, very difficult to, go to the courts, to use the legal system, to make yourself whole, to be compensated when your reputation and livelihood have been egregiously damaged via defamation online on social media. It's very difficult. Our legal system has not caught up to the reality of the lives that we live online now. So I actually think I might stop there just because this video is getting a little bit long. I have so much more to say about this. I have so much, I have so much more to say. I want to talk about Rwanda. I want to talk about my experience in Florence at the European University Institute in my transitional justice course, because Contrapoints also talked about cycles of violence and how when we confer moral authority based on victimhood status, we are just setting up and perpetuating a never-ending cycle of violence and oppression. And I completely agree. And I think this is happening in Rwanda. And it was something that I warned against in my transitional justice class at the European University Institute in Florence back in 2008 about Rwanda, and I was scoffed at. I was actually scoffed at by the other students. And I said, no, you don't understand how dangerous what you're doing is, what's happening in Rwanda is. And we can see the chickens coming home to roost now. So I want to talk more about that. I also want to talk about Contrapoints went through the different theories of punishment, and I have a lot to say about that. And I'm actually consider myself not only a prison abolitionist, but a punishment abolitionist. And I mean something very specific when I say that. So I really want to get into that, but I have a lot more to say. But anyway, so I will do more videos. I don't want this video to get too long. But thank you so much to Contrapoints for making that video. You gave me so much to work with, and I'm really excited to continue to respond to your videos on justice. So I'll have my PayPal me and GoFundMe links below. Please donate to my legal funds so that I can sue Yale and the fake news press and the moral outrage industry and stop them from getting one more innocent person's killed, one more innocent life destroyed. Stop trial by Twitter. I'm trying to stop trial by Twitter. I'm trying to stop vigilante mob justice. Okay, thank you so much. I'll talk to you later.